Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Alain. I'm here and I have a Mickey cup. Bet you guessed that yesterday. I had Donald, Goofy, Minnie. Today we got the last of that set, Mickey. Also got a Walt Disney hoodie on this morning because we're going to talk a little bit about Walt and a few others because of something that I saw yesterday. We're going to be talking about being excellent, having pride in yourself, having pride in the work that you do, because that's part of being excellent. Little things matter, paying attention to detail. That's sort of the topic for today. Want to thank everybody that joins, everybody that comments, everybody that shares the videos, those that listen to the replay and comment, those that are listening to the podcast. Thank you to everyone. And thank all of you that are helping get this out to more and more people and having the community expand. You are all much appreciated. So thank you very much. Remind you to sign up for the newsletter if you haven't signed up yet. enjoylifesafely.com. Put your name and email. You'll get an immediate download of a guide on situational awareness with some videos. You'll get an ebook on safety and self-defense tips. You'll get the newsletters and any other updates that I send. So be sure to sign up for that. Now, what set me off on the topic today? Let me show you a picture. This is a picture that I saw yesterday, or I took yesterday from something I saw. Now you can see that this is the counter of a fast food joint. If you look close, you can see which fast food joint it is. And notice there's the big spill under that tea dispenser. And then you can see the counter is stained from other spills. And then if you look down the front, you can see that you got old stains from how it's dribbled and ran down the wall and hasn't been cleaned for quite a while. Excuse me. So looking at this, I'm standing here waiting for an order. And I see this mess. I just sort of shake my head. A guy comes out from the back, an employee, with a cup, fills his cup, and goes back. So he obviously recognized the mess, filling his cup, did nothing about it. The person that put the drinks there on the counter for some other customer and put some food there couldn't have missed the mess, did nothing about it. The girl at the cash register taking orders watched me take this photo, did nothing about it. Heck, I bet you if you go back today, the mess is still there. For sure, the dribbles down the front that haven't been cleaned for a long time will be there. And this is the front counter, the first thing customers are seeing right after they order, because the cash register is right over there to the right of this picture. Is that the kind of appearance you want to project to your customers? And why do these people, they had to have seen it, not take a few seconds to grab a rag and clean that up? And why wasn't the stuff down the front cleaned better in the evening cleaning or morning cleaning or whenever they do that? It's people not taking pride in their work, not taking pride in themselves. Oh, it's just a fast food joint. Well, it's like Carlos Hathcock used to say, pay attention to detail. While it kept him alive in the Vietnam jungles, it's an important principle for everything we do, paying attention to details. I got the Disney hoodie and I got Mickey Mouse cup that I'm drinking out of this morning because Disney, if he would have saw this in the park, he would have flipped out. People know that I've studied Walt. I really admire what he did. And I like the principles and a lot of the stuff that he lived by. And one of them was the cleanliness of the parks. I mean, his wife one time said, Lily was like, why do you want to start an amusement park? They're so dirty. And his reply was, that's the point. Mine won't be. And every employee in Disney not just custodial workers, every employee has been directed, or at least they were when Walt was around, that if you saw any type of garbage or anything on the ground, it was to be cleaned up immediately. And he definitely had people that was their sole job, to go around and clean up. But every employee was directed to do that. And not only that, they were also directed to make the customer happy. Employee sees a little kid that just dropped an ice cream cone, and two things were supposed to happen immediately. One, that kid was supposed to get a brand new ice cream cone like that, free. Just give them that ice cream cone, make that kid happy, and then get that mess cleaned up as fast as possible. And that didn't matter if it was an ice cream cone or you dropped your whole meal that you were having or whatever. The mess was to be cleaned up, and the items were to be replaced immediately to make the customer happy and to make sure that the place was clean. That's how Disney treated things. Oh, Alan, you're always talking about Disney. All right, well, let's talk about General Patton, another person that I greatly admire and study. He was, your appearance matters, and you have to have pride in yourself and your appearance. And that's why he was so strict on uniforms and looking sharp. If Patton would have walked in and seen something like this, heads would have been rolling on that floor, because he wouldn't put up with something like this either. And I don't know why a manager of this store is putting up with that. And if one of those three happened to be a supervisor, the three employees that I saw that didn't take care of it, what's wrong with them? And I'm not saying that they should have directed someone else to clean it. They should have cleaned it, because they got a role of responsibility. I'll tell you, Patton would have walked in here, or Walt Disney would have walked in here, and they would have cleaned it up. And then they would have made damn sure that employees never let it happen again. And we need to all be like that and take more pride in our work and not let things like this happen. Going to say good morning to some folks. Steven's here, and he thought that counter was sort of gross. And then he says, so many poor captains of ships nowadays. Starts at the top always. Been the boss of my business for 39 years. It all starts with me. Exactly. And that's why I said Walt or General Patton would have cleaned that, and then heads would have rolled to make sure it never happened again, because neither of them were above doing the menial jobs, but they wanted to make sure everybody else did them too. Richard's here. Good morning, Richard. Richard says, yes, my stepmom's brother worked Disneyland in the 60s. Well, then definitely knew about Walt and Walt's particular ways of doing things, especially the cleanliness of the parks. The customer is always right. And Walt in the 60s, from 55 when it opened until he passed away, went through those parks all the time, spotting things and doing things and making sure, how could we make it better for the guests and the people that were there. And we should do that with any business that we work in, because if we don't, the business won't stay in business much longer, and there we lost our livelihood. And I don't care if that's a fast food joint. I worked fast food joints when I was in college and such. My daughter worked fast food joints with, when she was in high school. She was at McDonald's. I worked at Burger King's, a couple different Burger Kings way back in my younger days. Nothing wrong with those jobs. But if you're going to do a job, do it right. Take pride in yourself and what you're doing. And so many people today don't do that. Chick-fil-A has the same philosophy. And I saw an interesting article about Chick-fil-A today, and it was funny how sometimes liberal news, they put out a Chick-fil-A owner, had nothing to do with the Chick-fil-A. He did some terrible things, but the article wanted you to know that he was an owner of a Chick-fil-A, which had nothing to do with the terrible things that he did. But yeah, Chick-fil-A has some of those standards. A lot of places do. And unfortunately, a lot of places, the override corporation will set those standards, but the people working and the supervisors and the managers and the employees, they're not doing them. And like Steven said earlier, that's, starts at the top. Whoever manages that fast food store that I was at yesterday with this photo should clean that and then make sure everybody working there never lets it happen again. And you want that best appearance when people come in. I mean, you walk in, you're going to order food there, and you see that big mess like that. What do you think the back of the kitchen's like? Do you really want to eat there? Do you really want to do business at a place that they can't even keep the front looking good? What's the back going to look like? Yeah, it's sort of sad. I'm going to take the picture down here, but I'm going to continue with some comments. Phil is here, and Phil says, cleaning up messes help to elevate the experience. It's a great philosophy for us to follow personally, a challenge I face. Exactly. And part of it, again, it goes with like Patton, taking pride in yourself. First comes pride in appearance. Take pride in your work, which is the appearance of your work, the quality of work you do. And that shows the pride within yourself. If you're just slapping stuff together and you don't care and it's a mess and you're throwing crap out this and right, I don't care, blah, blah, you got low self-pride as well. You should take pride in everything you do. If you're not going to do it right, go do something else. And we need more managers, people in charge, to enforce that or get rid of them. And unfortunately, a lot of people today are like, well, I can't get rid of them because I don't have enough workers as it can be. So I have to have these subpar workers. Get rid of them. Get people that are going to help your business, because those subpar workers are only hurting you. You're paying them to do a job. They need to do what they're being paid for. The workers at that fast food place were not doing what they were paid for, because my job is to run the cash register, not to clean up the counter. My job is to make the sandwich, not to clean the counter. My job is to take the orders at the drive-thru, not to clean the counter. No. Everyone's job at every business is to serve the guests and customers, to give them the best experience possible when they come into that establishment. If it's a fast food place, it's not just the food, it's the experience. Is it fast? Is it clean? Were the people polite? All that makes the experience so they'll come back again. A retail store, was it clean? Were there people to help you? Were you able to find the item and get out of the store with what you needed in a quick manner? And were people friendly? Was it a good experience shopping there? Everyone that works at any place, their job is to give the best experience possible to the guests, to the customers. That's your number one job, because that's what will keep people coming back. That's what will keep your job. And when you do that, that's what will help raise you in positions to receive more money and more benefits, more responsibility that will come with that. And that's what having pride in yourself and having pride in your work means. So whether you want to listen to Walt, General Patton, Vietnam sniper Carlos Hathcock, pay attention to details, take pride in your work and your appearance, and serve the customers and serve the guests that you are there to serve. That is what being exceptional is all about. Thank you, everybody that joined today. Hope everybody goes out and has a wonderful Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow.